Okay, Hazel and Julian, I'm going to read this book called The Velveteen Rabbit. There's that little boy who's hugging a little bunny rabbit. He loves that little bunny rabbit so much. Hazel calls bunny rabbits bun buns. Isn't that cute? There once was a Velveteen Rabbit. And in the beginning, he was really splendid. He was fat and bunchy as a rabbit could be. His coat was spotted brown and white, and his ears were lined with pink sateen. Sateen is kind of like silk, and it's so smooth. Looks like that bunny came at Christmas time in a stocking. He was naturally shy, and being only made of velveteen, some of the more expensive toys quite snubbed him. That means they didn't really even want to be his friend. They were being snubby. That's not very nice. The only person who was kind to him at all was the Skin Horse. He was very wise, for he had seen many mechanical toys, and he knew that they were only toys and would never turn into anything else. Oh, I'm glad that the Velveteen Rabbit found this friend, the Skin Horse. "What is real?" asked the rabbit one day. "Real isn't how you are made," said the Skin Horse. "It's a thing that happens to you when a child loves you for a long, long time. By the time you are real, you can get loose in the joints and very shabby." Grandma feels a little loose in the joints and shabby sometimes. "But once you are real, you can't be ugly, except to people who don't understand." Interesting. Uh-oh. That Velveteen Rabbit got thrown down. Look at this woman coming through. She's not being very careful with the toys. There was a person named Nana who went swooping about like a great wind and hustled the playthings away in cupboards. The tin ones hated it, but the rabbit didn't mind so much, for whenever he was thrown, he came down soft. He was a soft toy, so he came down soft. That Nana was not being careful. Oh, sweet. One evening, when the boy was going to bed, he couldn't find the china dog that always slept with him. "Here," Nana said, "take your old bunny." That night, for many nights after, the Velveteen Rabbit slept in the boy's bed. Oh, he looked so cozy. And as time went on, the little rabbit was very happy, so happy that he never noticed how his beautiful velveteen fur was getting shabbier, and his tail was becoming unsewn, and all the pink was rubbing off of his nose where the boy had kissed him. Have you ever kissed one of your little stuffed animals? Oh, there's Nana. Once the rabbit was left out after dusk, and Nana had to look for him with a candle because the boy couldn't go to sleep unless he was there. "Fancy all that fuss for a toy," she said. "You mustn't say that," the boy said. "He isn't a toy. He is real." Oh my, is it happening? When the little rabbit heard that, he was so happy, for he knew that what the Skin Horse said was true. He was real. The boy himself had said it. Yep. Oh, that's a pretty picture. Near the house there was a wood. That's kind of like the woods at the farm. One evening, while the rabbit was lying there alone, he saw two strange beings. They were rabbits like himself, but quite furry and brand new. They stared at him, and the little rabbit stared back, and all the time their noses twitched, twitch, twitch, twitch. "He hasn't got any hind legs. He He doesn't smell right, the old rabbit exclaimed, jumping backwards. He isn't a rabbit at all. He isn't real. Oh, my. What do you think the rabbit thought about that? I am real, said the little rabbit. The boy said so. Come back and play with me. I know I'm real. But there was no answer. Weeks passed and the little rabbit grew very old and shabby. But the boy loved him just as much. He loved him so hard that the pink lining to his ears turned gray and his little brown spots faded. Oh. And then one day, the boy was sick. It says ill. That's the same thing as sick. His little body was so hot that it burned like a fever. When he held him close. Oh, have you ever had a fever before and you were lying in your bed and your skin kind of turned a little reddish colored? Well, the Velveteen Rabbit lay there hidden from sight under the bedclothes, and he never stirred, for he was afraid that if they found him, someone might take him away, for he knew that the boy needed him. Yes, that boy needed a friend with him in the bed. Presently, the boy got better. Hooray! The room had to be disinfected. That means kind of cleaned extra special. And all the books and toys that the boy had played with in bed must be burnt. Oh, no. How about this old bunny, Nana said. That, said the doctor, why, it's a mass of scarlet fever germs. Burn it at once. And so the little rabbit was put out in a sack. Oh, is he happy or sad? And carried out into the garden. The little rabbit felt very lonely, and a real tear trickled down his shabby little velvet nose and fell to the ground. Oh, I'm sorry, little bunny rabbit. I'm sorry. I hope you don't get burned. But where the tear had fallen, a flower grew out of the ground. The blossom opened, and out of it stepped a fairy. This is a pretend story, but it's pretty fun. I am the nursery magic fairy, she said. I take care of all the playthings that the children have loved. Fairies make me think of angels, don't they? Angels are real. Fairies are not real. I take care of all the playthings that the children have loved, and when they are old and worn out, I turn them into real. Wasn't I real before? Asked the little rabbit. You were real to the boy, the fairy said. Because he loved you, now you shall be real to everyone. Love really is a beautiful, wonderful, real thing, isn't it? There's that fairy in the wood. She flew with the little rabbit into the wood where the wild rabbits danced. Oh, look at all those bunny rabbits. Wonder if we have that many bunny rabbits in our woods. I know a little bunny rabbit lives in our backyard. I see him all the time. I've brought you a new playfellow, this fairy said. You must be very kind to him and teach him all he needs to know in Rabbit Land. And she kissed the little rabbit again and put him down on the grass. Oh, thank you, fairy, for kissing the little rabbit and putting him down on the grass. Look at him. Oh, he's standing up tall. Suddenly he looks kind of different, doesn't he? But the little rabbit sat quite still for a moment. He didn't want them to see him because he was all in one piece, he thought. He did not know that the fairy had changed him. Just then, something tickled his nose. And before he thought what he was doing, he lifted his hind foot to scratch it. He actually had hind legs. Instead of dingy velveteen, he had brown fur, soft and shiny. He was a real rabbit at last. The seasons passed, and in the spring the boy went out to play in the wood and saw two rabbits. There was something familiar about the little soft nose and round black eyes of one of them. And the boy thought to himself, why, he looks just like my old bunny. But he never knew that it really was his own bunny, come back to look at the child who had first helped him to be real. Wow. That's a good book. I hope you liked it.